Hello, and welcome to a very special April Fool's edition of Allegedly Astrology. Each week we'll be breaking down the astrology that happened during some of the biggest scandals and events in history. Dana, what are we covering on this episode?
Today we're talking about Julia Fox with our very special guest, comedian Abby Feldman. And woohoo! And the topic was a listener request from Rebecca. So if you have any ideas for future topics you'd like us to cover, please DM us or email us. Let us know.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys. So we'll start by welcoming Abby. We're so happy you're here.
Yes, welcome, Abby.
I'm so excited to be here.
This is so great. So just a little brief overview. This barely touches upon all the things she does, but Abby is a stand-up comedian, singer-songwriter, actress, podcaster, content creator. She's also written for Adult Swim and Netflix. I'm sure her resume is much more broad than that, but we're so pumped to have you.
I'm so excited. Oh my God. I'm like deep diving into astrology now that I have this astrology song coming out, and I'm finding amazing podcasts like yours. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
We're pumped.
This is so exciting. You are actually our first non-astrologer guest.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I love comedy, so I'm very excited.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I'm not an astrologer, but like I was like on the ground floor of CoStar, if that counts.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely,
That extremely
that
counts.
counts.
I love CoStar. Gets a lot of hate, which also makes me like it more.
Same here. I'm like, I like anything that gets people in the door. When people are like, if you're a meditator, you have to do Vipassana and this and that's like, if you're on, Calm, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
CoStar is the calm of astrology.
Love that. It honestly is. They should pair up.
I know.
So Abby, what is your big three?
My big three are Aries sun. So
Ooh.
Hey,
oh
happy
my God,
birthday.
Abby,
Thank
solar
you.
return.
thank you. And my moon is in Capricorn.
Ooh,
Whoa.
Cat moon.
And I'm a Cancer rising.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Cancer
Seventh house
risings are fun.
moon.
Yes, 7th house moon. I'm learning about that with my therapist who uses astrology.
Cool. That's cool.
Cool.
God, LA therapists
Yes.
are awesome.
Yes, she's like, my south node is in Libra in my 4th house. My north node is in Aries in my 10th house. But in order to get to that, she's like, you have to go to your skipped step, which is Capricorn in the 7th house.
Interesting.
In the moon.
Oh, I like
so
that.
I'm like,
This is amazing. How did you find this therapist? Like, did you find her because she was into astrology, or did that sort of fall into
a
that?
friend of mine was working with her. She touches on a lot of things. So she does the Enneagram, she does astrology, she does a lot of stuff like masculine, feminine things. And that was actually initially why I was interested, is because I want to find a partner. And I feel like, well, I'm like, this is very Aries. I'm like, let's hit it all head on.
Yeah, I love it.
A lot of cardinal energy, I've heard.
Elisa's too.
Really?
Well,
I'm
both
also
of them
an
actually are.
Aries. Yes.
Oh, happy birthday.
And she's a
to you
Capricorn
too.
rising,
Thank
so you guys have
you.
a lot of affinity.
Sarah's a Capricorn sun.
Oh my God.
And a Cancer moon.
Yeah, my Cancer moon.
So you've got all of us. You got all of our.
Represented.
Yeah.
We love it.
Except fuck Dana. Just kidding.
Yeah. Fuck Donald Trump, aka Dana.
No, stop.
No, but I it's funny because I like have this love-hate relationship with all of my signs, where I'm like, anytime I meet someone who's an Aries, a Cap, or a Cancer, I'm like, get the fuck out of my life.
Right, because you're like, I know the darkest parts of that. Yeah.
I love Aries. Aries is shameless, which I love. And not afraid to try stuff. And I like that a lot. I think that most other signs, especially all of mine, are like, why would I try? I'm so afraid.
What I love about Aries is like there's no ulterior motive. Like there's nothing else behind it. It's like puppy dog energy. If someone's like
That's
that,
so true.
when I like someone, I'm just like, I like you. Let's probably get married. Like what are we doing? Like like why would I pretend? I have a song called Soft to Get, which is like the opposite of being hard to get.
Oh, I love this.
And
that.
I recently was on the Today Show.
Ooh, fuck yeah.
Whoa.
NBD.
We need that boom, 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 boom horn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'll add that in.
That was actually amazing. Okay. But I asked, they had like a dating segment, and I was like, are we still playing hard to get? Is that still a thing? Or is it okay to play soft to get and like respond to my crush 10 seconds after they write to me? Because like I feel like that's very Aries. Like you sent me a text, I'm going to respond to it. I'm not going to be like, I'll wait 3 days. I'm not like a Scorpio who's like, I'll wait till after they die. And then I'll go to their like cemetery plot and tell them I actually loved them. Like,
lay down a single black rose.
what could have been would have been the best love of all time, but we'll never know. And then like write a movie about it and be like a depressed.
It'd be a good movie though.
It would be a good movie. Yeah, Aries is not a good movie. Aries is a good like Vine.
Yeah.
Like we're like, yeah, I like you. Here's a flower. It's over.
So what does your therapist say about your chart and how that sort of relates to your career in comedy?
Basically, it's so having Aries, I have a lot of Aries and a lot of 10th house energy. So it's a lot of like all eyes on me kind of energy. But she says that I have to heal the wounds from my South Node, like having South Node in Libra in my 4th house is like the mother, the home, and that kind of thing. Like deal with any kind of like wounds there, which, you know, I'm a comedian, so there's like, that's a lot of it, you know? And then, so I feel like I have that part understood. I think the part that's been really revelatory for me is this, I never really knew what to do with my moon. I didn't really know what that was. Moon in Capricorn, it's like, do I fall in love through work? Kind of. Like, I love work and I'm really attracted to people who I admire, like, career-wise. Like, my biggest crushes are, like, Bo Burnham and, like, Jim Carrey. You know? People are like, ooh, like, you know, I don't know. I can't think of someone who's hot. But, like, Harry Styles, I'm like, yeah. Watermelon Sugar, like anyone could have written that. Like, I want someone who's like brilliant, you know?
Like a dark genius.
Yeah, like someone who's got like
Ace
this like...
Ventura.
Yes, Ace Ventura, like Liar Liar is underratedly like fucking brilliant. I mean, we should all be honest. And I really blew their minds today. I said, we should all be honest. And I think they were like, wow, thank God we had her on.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, for you, I feel like Aries in the 10th house makes a lot of sense. Like I was creeping on your resume. It is like off the chain. Like I feel like you've done a million things and, you know, you have, like Elise was saying, like, I know you like consult for Netflix. You are like writing and starring in a show for Netflix. So it's at like, I'm sure your day is just like packed nonstop all the time.
Is that what it's about? Is it being packed with a lot of things?
Well, Aries is just like getting shit done. So especially in like your career, like where your career is, it's like you're probably going to do like as much like, oh, I want to write something. I'm going to write something and then be pitching it. Like, you know, like you're not going to wait for someone else to come along and like tap you on the shoulder and be like, you could try now.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I find that that's totally true. I'm always like, I have an idea. Let's do it. But what I thought the Aries thing is, it's like, because I'm coming from the South Node in Libra, it's like I always want to work with other people. Like, oh, I'll write for this show or I'll do this or da-da-da. I need someone else to give me the opportunity. But I think what I have to learn is like doing my own projects is where because like I've been writing a screenplay for a long time and it's like, well, like, and I do kind of sit on that one. But it's like, oh, if you called me today and we're like, let's do a podcast, I'll be like, yeah, right away.
Yes, but I'm the same way.
But for me, the challenge is like that baby that I have, like my music is the thing that I've like started to let myself like really focus on. And I think the challenge for me is like believing in my own project and not like prioritizing anything else but my own project.
It's like, I feel like it's going to be, I'm not trying to step on your therapist's toes if she says otherwise, but like, I feel like it will be natural for you for most of your life to want to like partner with people because your moon is your chart ruler and it's in your 7th house of partners. So it's going to be like bringing you towards partners. Even if, I mean, it could just be like getting married or like having a life partner, right?
Would love to do that, but.
But I also feel like I don't know. It didn't seem like you're beating yourself up about it, but I do feel like putting pressure on yourself might be putting pressure on yourself to be like someone that you're not.
It's just more fun to do things with other people. I think that's like my philosophy. That's true. You know, it's like, yeah, I mean, I do love being on stage and having all eyes on me or whatever for like that hour, but like, I want to be like, I'm all about like loving the people that I work with. Like, I want to like, I want to be besties with my manager. I want to be like besties with my music producer and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think that I know my Chiron is in Gemini in the 12th house.
Well, you're really working that out with singing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Where's your Mars?
Yeah. My Mars is in Gemini.
Oh, fuck yeah. So is Elise's. Wow.
Really?
Mars,
We're so
do you know Mars is
similar.
going to be in Gemini for 8 months, starting from August through April of 2023? It's going to be fucking nuts. It's going to retrograde. It's going to be wild. You're going to have a 3-month-long Mars return. That could be a really big time for you in your career, too.
2023, baby.
Okay.
Heard it here first.
I will latch on. I love everything. I love, like, you tell me whatever it is, and I will just be like, if you tell me something positive, I'll just hold that.
I love that.
Not 2023. Thank you.
I love this so much.
Yeah.
Well, how did you sort of get your start in comedy? Did you always know you wanted to be a comedian?
I was like making this I was like, I like took myself very serious. I still kind of do sometimes, which
That's
I don't
cardinal.
think people. Okay.
I like it, yeah.
Good to know. Cause I'm like, I have to do something big for the world and I'm going to like change the world. And I was making this documentary about the relativity
Cool.
of craziness. And I was filming in this psychiatric hospital, this like notorious spooky psychiatric hospital in Argentina. And I was like, they wouldn't let me film. So I was like sneaking in there with
Oh,
my
I
little
love that.
handheld.
Oh.
And I was like going behind the morgue and like interviewing this patient who had like teardrop tattoos on his face. And it was like this whole crazy thing.
Oh my God.
It was very much like a life's too short moment. Like I saw all these
Yes.
people like struggling and like all the injustices in the world. And I think as a journalist, I thought I could like make a difference. And I was like, this is not going to change anybody. Like I that was the realization, like covering the news has never made me like want to change my life. Like watching a news
Totally.
piece, I'm never like, I'm going to do this. But watching a movie or seeing like comedy or listening to a song, like art has always had more of an impact. So I was like, I'd rather be making the art than like covering the sadness in the world.
Amen, sister.
I was also a journalism major in college.
What the heck,
and
Elise?
I also felt the same way. I interned at a news station and I was like, this isn't it.
It is
All
not
my
it.
dreams are dashed.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not going to save people by being a journalist. I'm going to save people by talking about Julia Fox's chart.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what we're here to talk about today. And I
here
hope
to
all of
save
you
you
are
guys.
saved by this podcast. All right, so let's just get into it. Julia Fox turned social media feral thanks to her pronunciation of Uncuh Jammmmzzz, love of insanely heavy eyeshadow, and relationship with Kanye West. That was just about as serious as an April Fool's joke. The relationship may have lasted only 6 weeks, but her Uncuh Jammmmzzz will likely be making our eardrums bleed forever. So let's learn a little bit more about Julia.
Okay, so Julia is an actress, a designer, a writer, a socialite, a model, a podcaster, and a mom. And everyone's pretty familiar with her as from her role in Uncuh Jammmmzzz as Adam Sandler's girlfriend. She also hangs out with a lot of cool people in New York. Dana loves Camp Marnell, so I feel like it's important to note that those two are friends. And she was also Kanye West's girlfriend for like 2 seconds.
Who I also love.
What are her big three? Yes, I guess we should say through the darkness and the light of Kanye West, Dana has always been a huge fan of his.
I'm ride or die.
I think it's an important thing to know.
Any Leo rising who is in a ride or die is not worth your salt. Okay. So she's an Aquarius sun, a Taurus moon, and a Cancer rising. She was born on February 2nd, 1990 in Milan, Italy. We don't know what time, but in an interview with Nylon, she said she was a Cancer rising. And something super interesting about her that we'll get into a little bit is that she was born during Venus retrograde in Capricorn, which is in her 7th house as a Cancer rising. Which is important and wild because we just had that during her like little tryst with Kanye. So cycles. We love retrograde cycles here. But anyway, as an Aquarius sun, she's a weirdo, right? Like she had that weird makeup. She also sticks out in a way where she's different. Like for a while, it was like just being like a hot girl with a big ass. Now she's like weird makeup fashion girl. She wears like jeans that are cut up as a whole outfit. Like she's just different. And she likes to stick out in ways that will always make her different. I think she, in interviews, I've like listened to her talk. She's always kind of felt like different than other people too, which is clear, like on her podcast, which she had Kat Marnell on, which I listened to.
Yeah, she's like, everyone else says Uncuh Gems, but I'm going to say Uncuh Gems.
Exactly.
As an Aquarius,
I want to say it.
I'm going to say Uncuh Jammmmzzz. Sorry. And she's a Taurus moon, which is very hot girl. She's a Taurus moon, Cancer rising is like big hot girl energy, right? So as a Taurus moon, they're like, love to be luxuriated. She was like super excited. Like did anyone watch a video where she was like, I'm driving a Benz and I have a Birkin and like something else like Fendi or Balenciaga. I'm dressed in Balenciaga. Like my life is great now. And it was like after dating Kanye for like 2 weeks, which was like the middle of their relationship, I guess. And as a Cancer rising, this is like very hot. Cancer is ruled by the moon. So she's ruled by this Taurus moon. And she's like, what's the word? Botticelli chick, kind of. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's the saying.
Yeah, Botticelli babe.
Yeah. And so she's like emotional. She's like cried and stuff. Like remember right before the Kanye thing, she had that huge thing with her baby daddy on Instagram.
Yeah, that was really messy.
Yeah.
And
So it's very Cancer rising. And then like she like apologized for it like a week later. But like it all kind of got swept under the noise of Kanye.
Does Cancer rising make you hot, or her Cancer rising makes her hot because she's a Taurus?
I think Cancer rising is just hot girl energy in general. But maybe a Capricorn moon could have you questioning that just as someone who but it's true no matter what.
Good to know.
Yeah, and then also if we think about it, so she's ruled by this Taurus moon, which is ruled by her Venus retrograde in Capricorn in her 7th house, right? So this is a really powerful planet in her chart. And so Venus retrograde in her 7th is going to make, like, she's kind of known for having tumultuous relationships. Like, besides this Kanye one and besides her baby daddy one, like, she was known for having really intense relationships before this. I've have known about her for a little bit. And so Venus retrograde tends to make relationships like pretty loud in someone's life. Like, remember Olivia Munn had Venus retrograde on her ascendant that we talked about in that one episode of her and John Mulaney. So Venus retrograde is like in Capricorn, just going to make her want to be in relationships, but also like weird about them.
Does it make relationships fail more?
It just makes people, I think, want to be in relationships, but at the same time want to pull away from them. Because like Venus retrogrades tend to be times when you like rethink your values and like reevaluate. It's about values. So I guess reevaluate your values, which the root word there is the value. So it's kind of weird to use it twice. But
she also has that like fat ass Capricorn stellium.
Yeah, she's a
like,
fat ass.
She has so many planets in Capricorn, which is insane.
Venus is conjunct her her Saturn, which is conjunct her Mercury, which is we don't know what the exact degree of her ascendant or descendant, but she has Neptune, Uranus, and Mars. So I'll just go through all of her Capricorn planets again, all in her 7th house: Mars, Uranus, Mercury, Neptune, Saturn, Venus.
Wow.
A ton.
And you say Uranus because you just don't like to have fun ever?
I just say it so much, Uranus. It's like hard for me. Also, I have a Chicago accent.
Okay.
Uncuh Jammmmzzz. For this episode, I'm going to say Uranus.
Yeah. I've got Uncuh Gems in my
Uranus.
In my Uranus.
Uncuh Jammmmzzz in my Uranus. It hurts.
Uranus is full of uncut gems.
Love that. Let's tweet that at Julia Fox.
She would probably love it. So Julia and Kanye, or Ye, as his now name is officially legally known as. I'm still going to call him Kanye, though.
Good.
They met in Miami, aka my current residence, on New Year's Eve. And she said it was an instant connection. She says he was super fun to be around. You know, everyone was just like nonstop gigs the whole time, like so much fun. And they had such a great time that they were like, yo, let's all go to New York City to see Slave Play tonight. So they did. Well, it's technically the next day, I think. But seems like a weird play to go to.
No, that's like that's definitely like a 4 a.m. decision. Like, it's 4 a.m. The after party's wrapping up. Like, Slave Play? Yeah.
Anyone?
I feel like it's one of those things, like, I love to make plans when I'm drunk with people, but I feel like everyone just acknowledges, like, these plans will never go through. Whereas this was one of those plans, but it was carried through in a relationship.
It's easy when you have a jet like at your feet.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like that's a lot, all the Capricorn. It's like, we're going to do this.
We will
and
actually
she's just on board.
Be sober, like with a sober seriousness of these drunken plans.
Yeah. And so when they went to see the play, that's when everyone was like, oh, wait, are they dating? And then after the play, they went out to dinner, and Kanye decided to direct a photo shoot of Julia as people just continued to eat around her, like in the restaurant, which was pretty interesting.
It is my nightmare, to be honest.
I wish I was there, though, just watching.
I wish I was there.
That's probably me. I'm like, that's weird to do. Where do you guys do your photo shoots?
And then he had another surprise for Julia when he took her to an entire hotel suite, which was full of clothes, where he styled her and gave her a whole new wardrobe. So this is all on the second date. Like,
This
very
man
Pretty
wants a
Women
Barbie.
vibes.
That's very specific. Like, that to me is like, that is in her chart. Like, that is the Capricorn, and that is like Taurus moon to me. Correct me if I'm wrong.
right
but
on.
like, who is
Spot on.
like never have I ever had a guy put down a finger if you've ever had a guy be like, second date, I want to wardrobe you. That's just never
Unfortunately.
happened. That doesn't happen to everyone. That's all my friends who are Tauruses are like impeccably dressed.
Yeah.
True.
And hers is in her 11th house of audience, so it's like on display for the world.
Dressing
yeah.
for them.
Yes.
Yeah. And she's an Aquarius, so like she would have weird
Yeah, for
dates.
sure.
The weirdest of dates. So she talked about this weird date ever, or most weird date ever, in an essay complete with photos for Interview magazine. You know, this is where we get the PDA type photos of them. They're kind of like all over each other. They're into each other. So Dana, what is their synastry?
Okay, so Julia's an Aquarius sun and Kanye's a Gemini sun. So we have this like air trine of their suns. Kanye was also recently with a Libra, so now he's trying out the like less cuddly air sign, I suppose. But yeah, Geminis love Aquarius. Is like Geminis are like mystified by them, right? Like Geminis like to be held. It's hard to hold attention for that long. So an Aquarius is really good at it because it's like they can kind of keep up with like the bouncing around of ideas and sort of like playing off of like, oh, here's a weird thing I know, you know, like what else do you know kind of shit.
What else do you know? That was weird. Tell me
that's
more.
exactly, honestly, I bet what it was like, even if it was like a weird pretend thing. So Kanye is like a Taurus stellium, Mars, Venus, Chiron, and Mercury. And this is all on Julia's Taurus moon. And so anytime there's like Mars and the moon in synastry, it's usually like hot. And it could be like, you know, like that fucking and fighting type of stuff. But it's also like, it's like the body and then also like the will to sort of penetrate is what Mars is. So
Okay.
so there we go. There we have it. But then also Venus. So like that's like the love and like wanting to dress up her body. Literally the moon is your body. So that's her body. And then Chiron and Mercury. Chiron is often present in synastry. I haven't figured out how to exactly talk about it yet because like Chiron is the wound. So like not everything's going to be like our primordial childhood, but maybe kind of it is. I don't know. Carl Jung would say it is. And he just desperately wants to like have a Barbie, I guess.
Yeah, because he's done that with like literally every girlfriend he's had. He did it with Amber Rose, Kim, Julia. I'm sure whoever was before Amber Rose, I don't remember
The
her.
lookalike Kim he's dating now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He actually got me this shirt that I'm
Did
wearing.
he?
I love
It's
that.
Balenciaga.
Yeah. He was like, "Hey, abs." I was like, "Okay, I guess we're there already." And it was I didn't know it was a date, but it was the second time we were hanging out. And
Kanye's moon is also on Julia's midheaven, which is like, hey, like he's bringing her out, right? Like she wasn't unknown, but she was relatively unknown. Like she was known to people who like me, like care about like very small celebrity, like micro celebrities in like New York's Lower East Side. Like
I had no idea who she was until right now. I mean, I heard the Uncuh Jammmmzzz, but that's how I knew her.
okay, so there we go. So yeah, so I guess that's how much I don't even know. Hopefully our listeners know who she is.
I think the majority of people like either knew her from Uncuh Jammmmzzz or
Yeah,
else
that's when I first learned about her.
they knew her from meeting Kanye. Like I feel like there's a niche group of people that knew her from before those things, and that was
Yeah.
Dana.
And Dana was part of that niche.
I didn't know her from Uncut Gems. I knew her from Uncuh Jammmmzzz.
Uncuh Jammmmzzz.
Uncuh Jammmmzzz.
That is
Not
what put her
Uncuh
in
Jammmmzzz.
the household of everyone, right?
But I also didn't see that. I didn't see the film.
It's good, but like take a beta blocker before you watch it. It's so much anxiety to watch that movie.
Oh, no, I can't do that. I can't do anything that's not funny.
Oh, it's not funny at all.
Also, once I saw that viral thing, I was like, I thought I was the inspiration for it. So
Did you see the picture of her wearing
The jeans.
Yeah, with the jeans, the whole jeans outfit.
Yeah, that's like, honestly, that's how I know her, is Uncuh Jammmmzzz, and then she cut her jeans and put the top part of the fupa part on her boobs.
She's fupa-less. Oh, Azalea Banks says it's because of cool sculpting, but...
Oh, she's that... Because I scrolled a little back and she just had a kid like a year ago.
Fresh.
And she was a lot more voluptuous, which I was like really into. Yeah. And then now she's going like this other look, which is also great.
She's hot. She's a hot girl.
She's cut jam.
We're not going to stop with this, you guys.
She was on Uncuh Jammmmzzz, but she's a cut jewels.
She's a cut jewel now.
Oh my God.
Well, also, Kanye's Saturn is opposite her sun, which is interesting because I feel like this is like dad energy, you know? Like Saturn being opposite someone's sun is like... it's like honestly doesn't explain their relationship at all. So it's weird that I would bring it up, right? But I like to talk about the ones that surprise me. And so Saturn is like commitment. So this would be like an everlasting relationship. But he did also like blast her into like, you know, the public. That sounds a little gross, but yeah. And so just Saturn in Leo, like in the sun in Aquarius, like is a weird interplay between like people who really want to be seen, but are also sort of like going to be freaks about it.
Well, also, could it come back around? Could they be together again later?
I guess anything's possible, right?
So if we fast forward a few weeks and Julia and Kanye are living it up at Paris Fashion Week, obviously in coordinated outfits because he loves a coordinated moment.
He loves it.
She had this insane looking, really thick cat eye, which was very fashionable. It was like on a bunch of runways, and people call it an impactful eye, but like it is pure mayhem. If you haven't seen it, I recommend looking it up.
Yeah, some people said Kanye did it. Another makeup artist, Pat McGrath, took credit for it. Can you just imagine like Kanye doing someone's eye makeup? Like, no.
I can. Like, who else has the confidence to be like, babe, stop what you're doing. I've got this.
I've got this. That's true.
I would let him do my makeup.
Yeah, it was very recognizable. It's kind of become her like signature, which Kanye is sort of known for like creating like these muses' signature look. But Dana, what was going on during the Fashion Week chart? They lit up all the gossip. Like we got
it's like a very fresh chart. Like the energy of all these planets was like pretty brand new. We had Mercury at 0 degrees, or it was retrograde at 0 degrees Aquarius. But Mercury retrograde in Aquarius is like just weird in general, right? Like it's going to make people talk a lot about like weird shit. It's also like kind of conspiracy-ish, which people did think that this relationship was fake. Also the notes had like very freshly entered Taurus and Scorpio like within a week. And this is like very much like Taurus is like fashion and class, and Scorpio is like darkness. So it's like the goth fashion. I mean, the nodes are pretty, I guess, reflective of that, the signs. Also, Mars is at 0 degrees Capricorn and just entered Julia's 7th house of opponents, which could be like bad press, which she did get flack for it. Okay, and so this was also the first moon in Scorpio since like the nodes had entered Scorpio and Taurus. So the moon is kind of like edging up on that darkness on the south node of like what's gross and weird and dark. And like the makeup was, I guess, unflattering, but it's cool. Which is kind of Scorpio. Yeah. Like it doesn't have to be flattering to be cool or to look good.
I just feel like I would much rather stand out than be like whatever like flattering
That's
means.
Very Aquarius. I wonder what of your progressed planets have been entered Aquarius. Certainly some.
I wonder too. Yeah, like my sister was like, so my hair is short, obviously. My sister was like, you look so much prettier with long hair. You look so much prettier with long hair. I was like, yeah, but short hair is memorable.
I feel like you look like someone that like is
Susan
good
Sarandon's
with
daughter.
Short hair.
People have I've gotten that.
Yeah.
I've gotten Susan Sarandon's daughter, yeah.
But I think that is something interesting, like with what you said about Julia Fox's makeup, because that's what I feel like I forgot where I saw it, but they were like, you could put on a pair of low, like black jeans and a black shirt and like slick back hair and like a insane cat eye for Halloween, and people will like know you're Julia Fox.
Wow,
so he basically made her into a meme.
Look.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, I mean, he's really good at.
That's my friend Kanye.
After Fashion Week, Julia goes on the Call Her Daddy podcast and confirms that Kanye and her, you know, they're calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. So it is a fish. And this was also the moment she gave us a very special gift.
A very special gift indeed. So Alex Cooper, the host of Call Her Daddy, asked Julia if she considered herself to be Kanye's muse. Julia answered, yeah, maybe a little. And I guess Alex didn't think Julia knew what a muse was because she just straight up asked her, do you know what a muse actually means?
That's so funny.
I want to know if Abby's ever been called a muse by someone.
You have muse energy.
Oh my gosh, stop. That is like literally my goal. My Venus is in Pisces.
Oh, nice.
So,
Exalted.
So I think that's like where I'm like, I would just love to be. So I would love to be the kind of girl who just like lazes around on like a velvet blanket and has people feed me grapes and like paints me. But I don't I don't think that I'm anyone's muse. I don't know.
Yet.
No, I mean, honestly, probably yay. I think when he wrote
Jesus Walks.
I think he was about Well, I actually I was born on Easter Sunday, so I think that he wrote Jesus Walks about me.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Honestly, kind of does. He was like
Honestly.
Yeah, he was like, Jesus walks among us, not the way you think that he used to look, but he is still Jewish and
he has a little bit shorter hair.
Yeah, his hair is shorter, but still just as hairy.
But during this interview was when Julia said the infamous line, I mean, I was Josh Safdie's muse when he wrote Uncuh Jammmmzzz.
Oh my God. Yes. And no one knew what the fuck she was trying to say or what she said, but TikTok like jerked for the recreation. So it blew up, like everybody knew about it. And she later said that she was stoned. She was like, I was super stoned, like, leave me alone, which I mean, oh, okay, fine. So what was going on when this second viral moment happened?
It was the first Taurus moon since the North Node entered Taurus, and like Uranus is also there in Taurus. So we have the moon, Uranus, and the North Node, and Taurus is the voice. So like this is, and Uranus is like known for like making things weird, like an audio mishap type shit. So like this is very much like the first moon, and it's also Julia's lunar return. So I suppose this is the only thing we can really use to explain why this would boost her so much in like the algorithm, because the moon, like when the moon is first in crossing the nodes after they've changed it, it is significant, right? Like we had that Scorpio one, other things happen in the world in February, I think, I'm not sure what. But then the moon in Taurus, yeah. So it's just sort of like crossing the node and Uranus and like bringing like weird audio shit into like the public, what's it called? Ether.
But I like laughed so much at the beginning when you said that, because it's like, okay, everyone's like Uranus and Taurus, like one thing that could happen is the rise of like totalitarian regimes. The other thing is Julia Fox mispronouncing Uncuh Jammmmzzz.
It's about the voice and it makes things fucking weird. So that's exactly what happened as the moon crossed, and it was like, hey, this node. Also, it's significant for her, right? It was like during Aquarius season, which is significant for her. There was a bunch of planets in Capricorn, which is significant for her. And it was her lunar return. Yeah. So it's also like really working with her chart.
And the Taurus moon is going to be in her 11th house
of audience, which we all are her audience now, right?
So shortly after this, on Valentine's Day, Julia made an Instagram story that, you know, really broke some bad news. Her and Kanye were no more. And she went on to say that they were on good terms and she has love for him, but she was not in love with him.
Thank you, Julia, for spelling that out for us. But Julia also said that his schedule was very hectic. She has a kid, so she can't drop everything to like meet him at the last second. She also claims to want to be like an indie queen and doesn't want to live the celebrity life that Kanye has, which I find a little interesting. But
Dumois did have that blind where it was that she was trying to be like a Miami like yacht girl or whatever. And while this was happening, Kanye had put something out, his people, that said like, oh, like, do you have anyone who could be Kanye's girlfriend? So
what?
Yeah.
This is according to Dumois.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, It's from like a long time ago.
I was going to say, like, if you wanted like publicity, like obviously you could go on like a talk show, or you can, you know, whatever, do things that people do. I like don't know how things work. But I'm like, is one of like the list on the menu from a publicist, like, I'd like if we pay a certain amount of money, can I like date a crazy celebrity? And Is that a thing that happens?
I bet. Like, people are like people's beards all the time. Like, I'm sure there's like a roster somewhere, like celebrity beards or whatever.
Abby, you got to figure out a way to get on that list.
I want to be, celebritybeards.com would be like a really fun website to put up. Honestly, I don't know whose beard I would be because everyone would be like, oh, he is clearly in love with like 13-year-old boys. But I don't want to be someone's beard. I want, my Venus is in Pisces. I want like real love and blah, blah, blah.
You want the real thing.
I just want real love. That's a Pink song.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Even if it was a fake relationship, like, I do think, and Dana earmuffs, that it is very exhausting to be around Kanye. I feel like it is very much like everything he wants to do in the moment. Sure. And you have to like just tag along, and it can't be easy. Like, Kim probably could do it because she had like 12 nannies or whatever.
But then she couldn't. And she's divorced again.
And then she couldn't.
When you're someone's muse, like at the beginning, you're willing to put up with stuff because you're like, I'm a new muse. But once you've got the confidence of being like, I just blew up because I said Uncuh Jammmmzzz weird. Like, I'm an unstoppable star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to settle for this celebrity. Like, now sky's the limit.
Right. All I have to do is pronounce shit weird and I go viral. Like, bye, Kanye.
Yeah, that is
he has
a
to
gift.
like put out albums. Like, all she has to do is I should say something weird on this podcast.
We're for sure gonna go viral. We go viral all the time.
Uranus instead of Uranus. I just pronounced it.
Someone does say it that way. Who is it?
My family astrologer does.
Really?
Yeah, she does. Victoria is all about that Uranus life.
Uranus. Oh my God. Look, I thought I was like totally, I thought I was being so
Victoria's
Aquarian.
got you beat. All right. Well, before we talk about really what we came here to talk about today, which is a absolute banger called the Astrology song.
Yes.
Dana, wrap us up. Do we think this was all PR, or was there an actual attraction between them?
There's for sure an attraction, and I bet he loved dressing her up because of that, like, just her Taurus moon with his, like, Taurus stellium. Like, Kim doesn't have any Taurus.
I feel like I need to date Kanye so that he can be like, oh, your signature look is actually a mustache. And, like, and I'll be like, okay, whatever you say. Yeah. He's like, you have to have a mustache, and
I, like, would not be surprised.
Right. It's honestly plausible.
It's totally
crazy.
plausible. He'd be like, yeah, mustache in a traffic cone. Those are your things. Go, babe. Go. Shine.
That bit so much.
And I just, shine. You're a star. Like, what if that's all that's holding me back is like I haven't worn a traffic cone in public yet? Kanye, babe, if you're listening, let's collab on our next song.
Oh my God, that'd be great.
That would be actually really great.
That would actually be amazing. But maybe he'll hear us because he likes astrology, which we were randomly quoted in a Complex article that Kanye mentioned America's Jupiter return.
Pluto return.
Excuse me. America's Pluto return.
Oh man, you're going to be canceled.
Here we go. And so he likes astrology. So maybe if he heard your astrology song, he would want to collab with you.
Yes.
So will you tell us more about the astrology song?
Yeah, well, actually, the opening lyric to it is, Kanye, if you want to go out with me, you can dress me like a Barbie, Barbie.
Wow.
That's sexually
was so
charged.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Crazy. It's crazy that those were the lyrics. I didn't even know that he was into astrology. But yeah, astrology song came about because I love astrology, and it really irks me when people don't believe in it and they think it's like a nonsense thing. And I'm like, do you believe in the color blue? Like, the color blue didn't exist until like humans started writing about it or something. What was it? I forget. Don't quote me.
I don't know, but I love this idea because I mean, obviously someone had to call it blue, but I like the idea of like the color blue didn't exist.
We couldn't see blue until like a while. Like, it was very recent in our history. Get our producer to look it up.
Astrology was like driven out by the church, which a lot of people who hate it now are like anti-church. So it's almost like, why, like, are you guys actually the church? It seems like you kind of are, you know?
Truly. Yeah. Anything that's driven out by the church is probably cool. Like Jews, gay people, slutty women, like
all of us.
These are all things that these are all things that I practice.
According to Google, only about 6,000 years years ago did humans begin to develop blue colorants, and that's when people started to see blue, because blue is rarely present in nature. The cave people never used blue in any of their paintings.
So I think astrology might be older than blue.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow. I would love to see that, like, that celeb battle. What was that on MTV that used to be like...
I love that.
Yeah. Blue versus astrology.
I love the idea of fighting concepts.
Yeah. No, but it's always funny to me when it's like, oh, you're a 25-year-old dude and you feel like your existence is somehow like more valid than like the stars.
Yeah.
And, you know, people believe in gravity. People believe in the tides of the oceans. Like these things, like, why wouldn't your body that's made up of mostly water and made up of literally just carbon that's been existing on this earth since the creation of it? We're just made out of stardust. Like, you think we wouldn't be affected by the positions of massive, ancient, billion-year-old planets on our existence? So,
well said.
Anyways, the song's called Astrology Song, and the hook of it, the chorus of it, is people who don't believe in astrology are the ones with the crappy signs. And that's my belief, and I'm sticking to it.
Kanye is a Gemini, and he believes in it, so I guess we're not that bad after all.
I love a Gemini.
I do too.
Well, the whole thing is that, like, there are no crappy signs, but also you can roast all the signs, which is what I do in the song.
Love it.
And
so good.
It's so fun to roast and be playful about it. And I think that's the whole thing, is like not taking it so seriously, playing with it. Obviously, take everything with a grain of salt. It's just information. I think it's fascinating. And like, I just like having fun with it.
I love that.
So exciting. Where can people find this song?
You can find it wherever you listen to music. And it's going to come out on April 1st, which is a new moon in Aries.
Yeah.
And it's April Fool's Day.
Yes.
Oh my God, so fun.
And it's a new moon conjunct Mercury.
I hope that shit blows up for you. So everyone go download it.
Go download
it.
Share it with all your astrology friends.
Where can people like find you? Not the song, but like find you if they want to know more about you.
Well, my address is, just kidding, you wish, OnlyFans, Patreon. But if you are like hot and single and smart and funny and just like a great person out there in the world and you like want to make me a star, my address is at Abby Feldman on Instagram, or on TikTok, it's Abby Feldman Official.
Ooh.
Official.
So yeah, so it's just my name, Abby Feldman, most places.
TikTok and IG.
TikTok, IG, Twitter, and Twitter, I'm actually verified there. So
Oh, she's got that blue check mark.
Hell yeah.
got a blue check on the platform that I use the least, which is
And we believe in the color blue here, so.
Yeah. 6,000 years ago, they just called it the check.
Well, Abby, this was so fun. Thank you so much for coming on. We're so excited to listen to the astrology song.
Thank you for
but
having
for
me
everyone
on.
who can't wait, here's a little sneak peek. Just kidding. Here's the real thing.
People who don't believe in astrology are the ones with the crappy signs. Crappy signs. Crappy.
Love that preview. I, for one, cannot wait to hear the rest of this song. But with that concludes our April Fool's bonus episode. Hope you all laughed half as much as we did.
And please leave us a 5-star review and subscribe on whatever podcast platform you listen on.
And if you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and DM us a screenshot of that review, we'll make you a custom meme of your big 3, send you a quick write-up about it, guaranteed lols.
We also have really cool allegedly astrology stuff on TeePublic, so go there and check it out.
And we're all over social media, so please follow us. We're Allegedly Astrology on Instagram, Reddit, Hey Hero, and TikTok, and Allegedly Astro on Twitter.
And make sure you visit our website, allegedlyastrology.com, to book a reading with me.
I'm Elise.
I'm Dana.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is Allegedly Astrology.